Hello and welcome to ThePrint. I'm Sudeep and I'm here with Jaithirth Rao, retired entrepreneur and the print columnist. Our topic of discussion today is his article titled India Must Create More Sarvapalli Radhakrishnans and Move On from Macaulay. For those of you who are following the news, you know that it's based on a comment that Modi made about moving on from Macaulay. Do you have any general comments to start with? What were you thinking when you started writing this article?
I was thinking that this Macaulay issue keeps coming up every 3 years in the debates and discussions in our country. But this was the first time I thought it was focused on something more interesting than simply criticizing Macaulay. It was focused on how we have reacted to Macaulay.
Yeah.
In other words, it was giving agency to Indian people, not simply criticizing Macaulay or the British, but saying, how have we responded? And it was interesting. He said, hey, I'm not against English. We should learn English. Because clearly Modi knows that to be a software power or a pharma power or for any technological progress, we need English. So he was suggesting that we should use English instrumentally and not let ourselves get overwhelmed by foreign cultures, specifically Western culture. I think I thought that was a good way. So I thought it was time to write. And I basically said in my article that Macaulay, he was not the brightest of guys. He was quite stupid in many respects. But the one thing that in his minute, which I think a lot of us take objection to, is the idea of creating brown Englishmen. In other words, it was not just about us learning a language, but it was us, kind of deracinating, culturalizing ourselves. And Modi's attacked that.
Yeah.
And so I thought it was good. And I wanted to make the case that learning English is not, in fact, it's actually helped us in many ways.
Yeah.
That part of Macaulay's minute we can live with.
Yeah.
What we can't live with or what we shouldn't live with, this is what I say. The important thing is not what Macaulay says, but how we respond and use Macaulay. And that's why somewhere in the article I've said that people like Bankim knew that people like Macaulay are instruments of destiny. They're not just, individuals. So we need to see that and react instrumentally too.
Yeah. And one thing you mentioned quite high up is Macaulay was all about English education, but he was all about English education for a select few.
Yeah.
Uh, do you think, the outcome would have been different if it was less selective, if East India Company wasn't selective about who was getting the education? It was more.
There was no way. Remember, this is in 1830s that he wrote a minute.
Yeah.
Well, England itself did not have in 1830s a universal national government-sponsored
Yeah.
educational system.
Mm-hmm.
They were very, very fiscally conservative and not willing. They wanted education to be relatively restricted in their own country.
Yeah.
I think at some parish level, there were some elementary schools, and that was it. It was not like Germany, particularly after 1870, which had a national educational commitment, or France after Napoleon III, or other countries, Japan after 1868. England was not. And the East India Company, let's face it, they wanted to make money.
Yeah.
I'm not going to spend money having a mass education system in India. So that was out of the question. So now what was limited was, should we educate a few people? If so, in what languages and with what curriculum? That was the more or less the limited brief that was given to Macaulay. But being the kind of tendentious fellow he is, or he was, he wrote all over the place.
Hmm.
All.
And yeah, like you mentioned in your opening comments and in the article, you call English education his controversial gift.
It is
Uh,
a gift.
yeah.
That's the point I want to make. It is a gift. It's a gift if we treat it as a language to learn,
Mm,
maybe even master. If
yeah.
Naipaul or Rushdie can master the language, that's fine. And that doesn't mean we have to give up our culture.
Yeah.
That's the real issue, and that's why if you take that one sentence away from his minute, we have to create people who are Indian in
Yeah.
physical appearance but British or Western in spirit. That's the one that unfortunately not all of us, but
Mhm.
many of us have fallen into that trap of abandoning our own culture and becoming um, westernized almost to the point of a caricature.
Yeah. And another thing you pointed out, the early so-called brown sahibs that were created actually, went back to their roots, used English to learn the Vedas, learn other, knowledge systems that were indigenous to India. Like you mentioned, Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan. How do you think that can be taken ahead in today's time? Do you think that's possible? Do you think that's the model that we should be following?
You have to start with the opening assumption, which is implied, not
Mhm.
explicitly, but it's implied in Modi's speech. Use it as an instrument. Don't get carried away.
Yeah.
Don't don't become something you are not, and don't discard the good things of the past
Mhm.
in our own civilization.
Yeah.
That matter for the good things in the present of our own civilization. And Radhakrishnan wrote in English, spoke in English.
Yeah.
But what did he speak about? He spoke about the Upanishads, about the Dhammapada. He kind of he used it as an instrument
Yeah.
to get to a wider audience.
Mhm.
Did not use it till his. I've seen photos of him. I don't know if you have. He used to wear a South Indian dhoti, close coat, long coat, and a turban, not
Yeah.
a cap or a hat, but a turban. I, Mysore turban, we call it. And so it's just an example. There are many others. Krishna is not the only one. It's a
Yeah.
convenient example for me to pick. Uh, and if we can do that, then I think we can uh, make sure that we preserve the good aspects of all our heritage
Yeah.
and that we stop becoming this kind of schizophrenic individuals that many, not all, again, not all Indians have become like that, but many have become like that. Look down on anything Indian, it's kind of retro, it's beneath us. That's not necessary and not desirable.
Do you see this changing, like in terms of just the tide of Gen Z sort of claiming things as Indian? At least someone from the younger generation, myself, when I see, especially the diaspora who have moved on, a lot of Indian Americans per se, who are going back to their Indianness or reclaiming their Indianness. Do you think that is also part of, what
I
you're
don't know
talking
too
about?
much about Gen Z, but
Hmm.
especially in the context of language, I want to
Yeah.
give you one example that has actually blown my mind in recent years.
Hmm.
When the British conquered the Punjab in the 1840s, they introduced Urdu as a medium of instruction in their schools, and
Yeah.
Urdu as the official language of Punjab, not Punjabi. And this created a whole amount of schizophrenia there. All the men, the upper class, middle class men who went to school, because remember, the country was still largely illiterate, they used to read and write Urdu,
Yeah.
you know. Among the Hindu women, the Arya Samaj got them to learn Hindi.
Hmm.
The spoken language was always Punjabi. And
Yeah.
among some Sikh spiritual people, they retained Gurmukhi and Punjabi.
Yeah.
But that is again a small number of people. The Sikh middle class people would all learn Urdu in school. Uh, Now, On top of that, you layer English. If you want to go to engineering college, law college,
Yeah.
you get English. So there was no Punjabi kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And this has actually gone to its logical extreme in Pakistan. Punjabi is practically a dead language in Pakistan.
Mhm.
But in India, there has been a revival of Punjabi. And it's not been done by there's a little bit of state sponsorship, but it's really been done by the music industry.
Yeah.
Punjabi music has taken off, as I said, in the last 10, 15 years, and it's just blown my mind. So a lot of people now are into Punjabi, not Urdu or Hindi or English, but into Punjabi through the medium of not old music, but contemporary music. And so there are ways in which we can reach out, reach back, reach forward imaginatively without getting. Now, I don't know how popular this is among NRIs, and I think it is. Punjabi music is actually popular among everyone. It's
Yeah.
popular with me, it's popular with you. It's just taken off.
Yeah.
And so these secrets exist within societies of how to revive themselves,
Yeah.
how to go back to the well springs of our society, our culture.
That's an argument you put forth in the article as well, where you talk about how, classical music can also be introduced in school curriculums. Do you think that's viable, or do you think it should be in the article you talk about how children in the South can maybe South Indian learn maybe South Indian classical music, and those in the North can learn other sorts of classical music. Do you think should it be like all kinds of classical music, contemporary music, everything?
Could be.
How
I
would
mean,
you navigate
once
that?
you introduce music as a subject.
Hmm.
Now, I studied in Christian missionary schools. We had a period, 1 or 2 periods a week for music.
Yeah.
And we had a piano, Western instrument, and we used to sing English songs. So it's not difficult. So it's viable. You can do it. You need one room, you need a few instruments, and you need a good music teacher,
Yeah.
or maybe two music teachers, depending on the size of the school. It's not something that we can't do.
Yeah.
And look, the reason I was saying that was if you teach Carnatic music,
Hmm.
whether you like it or not, all our kritis are in Telugu, Kannada, and Tamil. So even learning those songs, those kritis, can be in different ragas. Karahara Priya, Ramani Samanam Evaro is a Telugu thing. So even though you may be a Kannadiga child or a Tamil child, you get exposure to Telugu.
Yeah.
Similarly, Ragi Tandira is a Purandaradasa song in Kannada. And if the one of the good things about music is you automatically get.
Yeah.
Oru Kalai Tukki Nindradam Devame is a Tamil thing. And there's a couple of Malayalam ones also. So, and then if you include folk music, there's brilliant folk music in languages that are disappearing, Tulu, Lambadi, etc.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm not saying only classical music. I use the classical music as an example to say that automatically, in fact, frankly, in North India, if you introduce classical music singing, you won't just get this imperious Hindi. You'll
Hmm.
get Bhojpuri, Maithili, Mewadi, Braj. You'll get multiple what are now considered dialects, but you might even call them authentic languages of the north. So just like Punjabi music has had a renaissance, we may start seeing greater and greater Telugu music, Bhojpuri music. We're already seeing some, but we
Yeah.
could see much more. And that retains, the language doesn't die.
Yeah.
You know how languages die is by official classification, neglect, and by incentive systems.
Yeah.
When I was a boy, we were taught that Konkani was a dialect. Now I know it's a language.
Yeah.
It's just got three different scripts: Roman script, Devanagari script, Kannada script, but it's not, and it's got a pretty vigorous literature, both old and contemporary. So these are things that, depending on how we frame it, and how we push it, we can keep going.
Yeah.
We should keep going.
And incidentally, you brought up also the language debate in India, and like this seems like a very novel solution to that as well. You get exposed to so many different languages and you learn to
Just
respect
through
very
music.
different. Yeah.
Just through music.
Yeah.
Because listen, let us be realistic. If you're going to today tell any middle class Indian family, parents,
Mm.
don't send your children to English medium schools, they're going to tell you to get lost. That's a non starter.
Yeah.
Okay. So they realize the instrumental value of English and they want their children to have it, period. This is, in Bombay, today again it doesn't exist because most people come, but in Bombay colleges, 40, 50 years ago, those who came from Marathi medium or Gujarati medium schools used to be called Varnaks. And Shekhar has pointed out, Shekhar Gupta, that in Delhi they are called HMTs, Hindi medium types. So all that the Indian middle class understands.
Yeah.
They want their children not to be HMTs
Yeah.
and they're not going to accept any government diktat. There'll be a revolt.
Yeah.
But you can insidiously implant it, making music a compulsory subject, giving it importance, giving it high marks, giving it awards, medals. That's the way the incentive system works.
Yeah.
And you can at least keep it alive. And then different pockets like this Punjabi music or Bhojpuri music will form on its own organically.
Yeah.
You don't have to do that yourself. I'm not suggesting a commercial subsidy for Bhojpuri music. It will develop on its own. You don't need to do much. But create the
Space.
ambiance that
Yeah.
makes it possible.
Yeah. That's a very novel solution to the debate that's been started, and something that I don't think I have heard.
I have been saying this for a few years to some of my friends that, there's no point in pushing this and saying, let's have Marathi medium,
Mm.
Telugu medium. Then what you're doing it is the poor go there and middle class and upper class all go to English medium. And that is not solving anything. That's
Correct.
not solving
Probably
anything.
making it worse.
Well, I don't know about that. But and in it and frankly now even the poor, I notice many of them skimp and save and scrape and somehow send their children, at least in urban areas, BMC schools in Marathi, Gujarati, Urdu medium. They're facing in Bombay. They're facing reduction in enrollments. We're all seeing that. In
Yeah.
fact, I think Bombay Municipal Corporation has switched some of its schools to English medium. Otherwise, children don't come.
Yeah.
Merely because they're poor doesn't mean they're going to find some way. And
Yeah.
that's unstoppable. But what is our fear? Our fear is in 20, 30 years, nobody will speak our Indian languages. There'll be no appreciation of our literary traditions, our heritage. And that is why we have to find insidious ways. And there might be others, but music is my suggestion as one insidious way. And just like there has been revival in Konkani, which was considered a dialect, and in Punjabi, which was lost in the Urdu, Hindi, English debate, or getting lost, there could be revivals that we can't yet anticipate. We can't fully plan the future.
Yeah. I think that's a very optimistic
Oh,
note.
I'm very optimistic.
Yeah.
If we work on this,
Yeah.
and with all this new technology,
Mhm.
for instance, by the way, even in scripts, I will refer to that in my thing. The Devanagari script has dominated northern India, or large parts. There used to be a script called Modi script, which was very important in Maharashtra, even in Rajasthan.
Okay.
And today, many of the old documents, palm leaf manuscripts, etc., that are preserved in Modi script, there's no one in India to read.
Yeah.
Again, technology with AI and all, we might be able to find ways to get out to teach ourselves Modi script or to teach how to translate it or transcribe it. So I am optimistic. I am not at all For instance, even take Kannada. I mean, we talk about Kannada as it's one language.
Yeah.
As if that which is spoken in Bangalore, Mysore is the language. It's not
Yeah.
true. There's 7 different dialects. Then there are non-Kannada dialects. There's Kodagu, there's Lambadi, there's enough things in one state.
Yeah.
And technology now can be used to maintain that diversity. We don't want to, Modi says that somewhere, that richness and diversity we don't want to lose.
Yeah.
That's very important. And also the way we are taught. We are taught, schools in Karnataka teach a very, very highly stylized, uh, courtly kind of Kannada.
Yeah.
Not
I think
the,
that's the same with language education across the
just,
country.
no,
Yeah.
and Tamil is even worse
Yeah.
because they have political, uh, whatever, ambitions or considerations. They
Yeah.
will talk about Sangam Tamil and modern Tamil. The entire Bhakti literature, which is the high point of Tamil literature, between 400 AD and as recently as 1900 AD with Ramalinga Vadalar, is just completely ignored.
Yeah.
So our kids don't know much about Manika Vaskar, Skilgnana Sambandar. So we have to kind of see how to uh, use technology to address the root cause of the issue. The root cause is not Macaulay imposing in English on us. The root cause is how we respond to it.
Yeah.
Once we concede that, then I think we have. I mean, look, it's a gift.
It
Eh,
is.
There's no doubt about it. I mean,
We're speaking in it now, so
just that, no, you just read Midnight's Children or you read Naipaul. It's a great gift he's given us. And not just in Indian philosophy. Salim Ali writing on Indian birds, Kushwant Singh on Indian humor.
yeah.
Uh, so in multiple areas, we have had Jadunath Sarkar and Nilakanta Sastry on Indian history. We've had multiple good use. Jadunath Sarkar did not write a history of Egypt or Antarctica. He wrote of India. And Nilakanta Shastri went even further. He wrote of South India. So, they used it as instruments.
Yeah.
Did not use it and become brown sahabs, as you said. So, if we do that intelligently, I think um, we can kind of, but we do have to get out of this Macaulay's curse in some sense, which is this cultural alienation.
Yeah.
That schizophrenia is something high time we got out of.
Yeah. Great. Perfect. Thank you so much, Jerry, for
Thank
speaking
you.
to us as always. And we look forward to speaking to you for your next column.
Remember, use it as an instrument, not as a master.
Yes.
Thank
Perfect. Thank you. And this is Therese from The Print signing out. Thank you, Jerry.
you. Bye.